Chances are, if you're watching this video, you've seen so many barbers shifting towards scissor cuts and longer styles. Not just that, some of the most well-known celebs in the world like Tom Holland, Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert Pattinson are leading the way with style right now. In this video, you'll learn how to do a whole head scissor cut using my removal and refinement method. These skills come from my 20-year background in the barber industry, so keep watching Barber and I will share with you. First things first, we need to get the hair wet. It's really important when you're scissor cutting hair to make sure that it is wet and that it's under control. Hair's just easier to work with and it sections nicely when it's wet. Now I did say to you that there was going to be a removal and a refinement process. So this is the removal process. We're going in, picking up the hair with your fingers and just scissor cutting it across the fingers and working our way back to the next section. You'll notice that I started at the temple, but really you can start anywhere as long as you have a method and you know you're going to cover the whole head. So for instance, if you're left-handed, you could just start on the other side of the head and come round this way. Then back round to the front of the head, and I'm going to go a little bit higher and trim some more length off before I get to the refinement stage. You can see how fast I'm working here. I'm basically pulling my fingers out to the same length each time, and I'm just judging it. I'm not actually looking for the previous section each time. I'm just pulling my fingers out because I'm going to come back and get to the refinement part now. So refining, basically what we do is we slide the scissor in and lift the hair up with the scissor and then place the comb underneath it. Now what you're looking for is any hairs that are sticking out, and we're working now horizontally across the sections that we just picked up. So you'll notice I'm not taking away anywhere near as much now. The last part was removal. This is me starting to refine the scissor work. Please let me know down below if you've ever tried this scissor over comb technique. It is great to watch, but let me tell you, it's even more fun to cut. It's great fun. It's a really creative way to cut hair, and there's more to it than just refining. I mean, you can see here, I'm actually going lower down now, and I'm actually removing bulk plus refining at the same time. I do that, and you'll see me doing it on the other side of the head. I won't even bother with the removal part. I'll go straight into what we would call just removal and refinement at the same time, because once you've got that guide that you've made, you know, on this side of the head, you can continue to work around using the scissor over comb and just remove and refine at the same time. What is common for me, and I would definitely recommend that you do it as well, is to go over your refined area more than once and refine it more, because what you'll find is that you're taking tiny little bits off and it's getting more and more refined. So keep looking over it. If there's any long hair that's just sticking out, you can just take that off. I did say that I was going to join up removal and refinement, and here you can see it, okay? Because I've got a guide from the other side of the head, and the guide I mean is, or I've already cut some short hair, it means I can just go in, pick up some short hair and all the long hair with the scissor and start cutting my way down towards the bottom. One thing I will say, if you're going to do this scissor over comb, if the hair was much longer than this, you couldn't remove and refine at the same time. There would be too much hair hanging over the comb, so you would have to go for the bulk removal using your fingers first. By the way, I'm guessing that if you're watching this, you are a barber or you're interested in barbering. So comment down below and tell me what stage you're at, because it will help me to put out future content, and I'd love to know about any ideas or any questions. And believe me, there's never a silly question, just about cutting hair, anything at all I can help you with, or anything. If you're a person who is just starting out and you currently know nothing about barbering, well, I do have a 3-hour course. It's a beginner's course and it's quite well structured. It will take you through 4 of the most common and important haircuts, as well as teaching you things like how to hold the scissors, how to hold a comb, and various things about bones in the head and texture in hair, etc, etc. And I will leave a link down below. It's on Udemy, and if that's something that interests you, you can check that out. One of the bonuses about that is, even if you don't know how to hold the scissors and comb and pick up hair, there's a free lesson on that course to get you started, and you don't need to sign up. You can watch that for free. And that link is in the description. Something else I want to ask you, tell me, what is the hardest thing right now for you cutting hair? Put that in the comments below. Tell me, what is the biggest challenge for you? Is it a certain hair type? Is it that you can't get a job in a barber shop? Maybe it's hard to find a placement. Are you in college, barber school? Are you not making any money at barbering? You tell me. Or is it keeping up with trends? Are you trying to find inspiration about where to move your career? It is quite common for barbers to get stale. So don't worry about that, it happens to us all. When I'm working around the ears, what I normally do is I always cut away from the ear. So trim away from the ear. On the top now, what I'm going to do is section out the top to the side. Now you can see I don't need clips or anything because it's wet, and I'm just going to take, I've already discussed this with the client, I'm going to take about 3 inches off, and I'm going to keep working my way back. I'll just, like I did on the sides with my fingers. It's not so easy to do scissor over comb on the top. It's something that only really is good for the sides. Now I'm cutting back across the top. Now remember, I've already removed bulk and refined at the sides, but I need to join it in. So if I pick up a bit of the top and a bit of the sides and I comb that back, I'm just going to take the long stuff that is sticking out, and that's all I need to take there. Because I've cut the top from the front to the back, I'm just coming in and I'm picking up with my scissor and just further refining. I just want to make sure that the top flows down nicely into the back. On the other side, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to tie in and work my way back, just trim any long stuff that's kind of hanging out. There shouldn't be much. And by the way, I want to thank those of you so much who have been giving me super thanks using the super thanks button down below lately. That's a feature that YouTube recently added. It really helps the channel and I really appreciate your support. For the fringe, I don't really care too much because he's sweeping it back. I'm just going to pull it down to his eyebrows and just trim off really anything that I don't like the look of that's kind of sticking out, but I'm not that fussed about trying to do anything to make it sit nicely coming forward, because that's not the way it's going to sit. It's going to be brushed back. When you're styling long hair, one of your best friends is mousse. Like volumizing mousse, it gives it lift, it gives it body, especially people with flat hair, but even if they have quite thick hair, you can still use mousse because it gives it hold, and I would strongly recommend that you use mousse. A great brand is Avenue Man, and I'll leave a affiliate link for that, an Amazon affiliate link down below, but definitely use mousse if you can. Work your mousse in and then grab a vent brush. Now a vent brush is a brush with holes in it and it lets the air flow through it. It leaves the hair a little bit looser when you blow dry it back, and it's very, very good for long hair. When I'm blow drying hair, I normally blow dry it back so it's hot, and then each section I'm on, I'll switch the hair dryer to cold and cool it down. By switching to cold and cooling it down dry, then you're more likely to retain the shape, and it also gives the hair a little bit of a shine because it flattens the cuticle of the hair strand. That's a bit technical for you, but it works. So a little bit of cleaning up around the edges. What we don't want to do is really make sure that you don't go in beyond the hairline. Keep the clipper outside the hairline. At the ear, just put the comb in behind the ear and flip it out. Okay, just flip it out and then trim across the comb. We'll try and make a straight line down the back here, but you want to make sure that if you make a straight line down the back that you are not cutting in beyond the hairline, because that can look pretty hellish. Alright, so I've got my straight line. Now I'm just going to taper away these little neck hairs here, and don't go too wild, okay? We don't want to go too high with the trimmer. We just want to get rid of the neck hair and leave it kind of natural. If you're working with long hair, it really suits the style to leave the back of the neck natural and not have any kind of like solid line at the back. So I'm just picking away at it. I take a little bit off the neck, use the comb as a barrier, and because I don't want to go in too deep or anything with the clipper, I'm just trimming across, trying to take away any just individual long hairs, just to make it a little bit neater. And I'll just make like a clean line down from the ear to the nape of the neck on the back, on the other side there. Using your comb as a barrier is a great tool. You know, I just always just flip the hair out and run along the comb. It just keeps it safe, you know, and you can actually keep the ear behind the comb as well. That's a good way to run the clipper across the hair without touching the ear. My client has quite a rugged beard. He's a real Highlander like me, and he likes to keep quite a long beard, so I'm not going too crazy. He's allowed me to just kind of neaten it up around the edges a little bit. So just at the edge, I'll make sure there's no hair in his mouth and just edge up with the razor a little bit. Nothing too crazy. You know, a good tip is to just put the comb on the lip and run the clipper across the comb. That gives you a perfect line across the mouth. A little bit of neatening up with a razor. Something I'll say is that my method is not the only method, but it's something that you can use. You can see the end cut here. It is a very clean finish and it does work nicely. You can use other methods. There's 1,001 ways to cut hair, but this is something for you to learn. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll see you again in my next video. Good luck with your scissor cuts.